Lewis Hamilton is brainwashing himself to adapt to Ferrari's machinery. While he hopes this experimental approach will reignite his dominance, skeptical analysts wonder if the risks could backfire and validate doubts about his fading edge. We're about to hear from them right now, so don't go anywhere. Almost a year after the blockbuster announcement of his move from Mercedes, the seven-time world champion made his highly anticipated public debut as a Ferrari driver this week, ramping up preparations for the 2025 Formula One season. On Monday, Hamilton was welcomed at Ferrari's iconic Maranello headquarters, where he met his new team. By Wednesday, he was behind the wheel of a Ferrari F1 car for the first time, completing 30 laps at the Fiorano test track in wet conditions. Reflecting on the milestone moment, Hamilton called the experience one of the best feelings of my life. The action doesn't stop there. Ferrari has scheduled another private test in Barcelona starting Tuesday, with Hamilton and teammate Charles Leclerc also lined up for a Pirelli tyre test at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit next month, using a modified version of the team's 2024 car. Hamilton's Fiorano debut created a frenzy among the Tifosi, Ferrari's devoted fanbase, with hundreds turning up to catch a glimpse of the action. Sky Italy even broadcast the test live, underscoring the electric anticipation surrounding Ferrari's newest superstar. Lewis Hamilton wasted no time getting to work during his first test with Ferrari this week, as the seven-time F1 world champion reportedly focused on trying things, rather than simply going round Fiorano's iconic track. Italian racing driver and Sky Italy presenter Vicky Piria, who observed Hamilton's run from trackside, shared fascinating insights into his approach. Piria noted that Hamilton wasn't just out there for a joyride. He was actively experimenting with key functions like the differential and brake balance in the cockpit. She told Sky Sports News, "Even though it was really damp, wet and really cold, we saw Lewis try different stuff. We saw him work a bit with the E-diff, we saw him work with the brake balance, saw some locking. He wasn't just going around and doing installation laps, he was actually trying things. Not pushing, but trying things. That's him getting into the momentum, understanding things, the settings on the steering wheel and how they work. They learn everything on the sim, but then actually transferring the feelings onto the real track. So it's really forward motion for him because it's not long before Australia." Trackside sources revealed that the seven-time world champion struggled to find a comfortable pedal setup, experimenting with various adjustments throughout the session. Despite his efforts, the issue persisted, leading to two brake lockups, one at the first corner and another at the hairpin, where Hamilton narrowly avoided the gravel runoff areas. Ferrari is expected to address the pedal concerns ahead of this week's follow-up test in Barcelona. Both Hamilton and teammate Charles Leclerc are set to hit the track on Monday, as the Scuderia continues refining its preparations for the 2025 season. Lewis Hamilton appears to be settling into life at Ferrari, with reports suggesting he adapted quickly to the team's steering wheel, requesting only minor tweaks during his first test session. There were earlier concerns that Hamilton might push to retain the systems and functions he had relied on during his long stint at Mercedes. However, the seven-time world champion has reportedly embraced the Ferrari setup with minimal fuss, signalling a smooth transition. Hamilton has also made a strong first impression with his new race engineer, Riccardo Adami. Known for his work with former Ferrari stars Carlos Sainz and Sebastian Vettel, Adami is said to have struck up a positive rapport with Hamilton. Speaking of Vettel, Hamilton has reportedly been tapping into the Ferrari alumnus's wisdom, with claims emerging this week that he repeatedly called the German in the lead-up to his Ferrari debut. The four-time world champion is said to have shared insights to help Hamilton prepare for life in red. During his Fiorano test, Hamilton was spotted jotting down notes in a notebook inside Ferrari's garage, a habit that drew immediate comparisons to Vettel's meticulous style. Vettel's legendary attention to detail became a hallmark of his Ferrari years, and it seems Hamilton is taking a page, quite literally from his predecessor's playbook as he begins his own chapter with the Scuderia. But even with Lewis Hamilton going the extra mile for Ferrari, not everyone is quick to buy in. Celebrity F1 fan Jeremy Clarkson has reignited his criticism of Lewis Hamilton, claiming the new Ferrari recruit knows he is past his prime, and more of a superstar than a serious racer. Clarkson first sparked controversy after last year's Brazilian Grand Prix, accusing Hamilton, who turned 40 this month, of being too old for Formula One. Hamilton seemingly acknowledged his struggles later in the season, admitting at the Qatar Grand Prix, "I'm not fast anymore." This week, Clarkson took aim again, mocking Ferrari's official photos of Hamilton's Maranello visit. While Hamilton posed beside the legendary Enzo Ferrari's former office and his favourite Ferrari F40, Clarkson shared a tongue-in-cheek photo of himself in front of a Range Rover at his farm, dressed sharply. It could be argued that Lewis Hamilton wants a record-breaking 8th World Championship before he retires, and move to Ferrari because he reckons that this year they will have the fastest car. He may have a point. Early indications on the rumour mill suggest it's very fast indeed. However, if he's so keen on that 8th world title, you'd imagine that he'd have arrived at the factory on day one, keen to know the car's secrets and how he can extract the most from its vast arsenal of racing trickery. Instead, he turned up in an SUV in a suit and tie and posed for pictures before talking to fans, under the watchful eye of a video drone which luckily was there to capture the moment. Next, there was a tour of the team's headquarters where, in slow motion, we saw the fawning engineers and the applause. And then eventually he went onto the track, in an F1 Ferrari that's 3 years old. I'm told his new house isn't anywhere near the team's HQ. It's in Milan, and he doesn't even commute in a Ferrari road car, choosing instead to use Fiat's helicopter. It made me wonder, what is Lewis now? A driver? Or a superstar? What I do know is he'll have his work cut out to beat his teammate Charles Leclerc, who speaks Italian, knows the team, doesn't spend quite so long posing for pictures, and thanks to a single-lap shootout, is regarded by many to be the fastest driver of them all. Maybe Lewis is aware of this, and maybe he signed for Ferrari for a different reason. He knows he's past his prime now and he didn't want to retire having never driven for motorsport's crown jewel. Either way, I wish him well. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko has also dismissed Lewis Hamilton as a serious challenger to reigning 4-time world champion Max Verstappen ahead of the 2025 Formula One season. Speaking to Germany's Sport Bild, Marko argued that none of Verstappen's rivals for the upcoming title campaign stand out, and suggested that even with a faster car, Hamilton is unlikely to pose a genuine threat. Marko doubled down on his belief that Verstappen remains in a league of his own heading into the new season. Lewis Hamilton still has the speed, but can he keep that up for a whole season? I have my doubts about that. Even if he has a good Ferrari and we build a mediocre Red Bull for Max, I would put my money on Max. Former Formula One driver Martin Brundle also weighed in, saying the 7-time world champion may have lost an edge after several seasons of challenges. Talking to Sky F1, Brundle said, "At Silverstone last year he had a chance to win the British Grand Prix, and he won it. He won at Spa, which was a little bit lucky because George got disqualified. Lewis was extraordinary all through practice in Las Vegas, and then fluffed it in qualifying. He didn't used to do that sort of thing so much. And then was extraordinary again in the race. I think the speed is there. Do I think the best of Lewis Hamilton is ahead or behind him? I think it's behind him. I think he's lost an edge with age, as you do. Sometimes he gets in scuffles he used to emerge out in front of, but he doesn't now. Or he'll make a mistake in qualifying. But I think 96%, 97% of Lewis Hamilton in a winning car is still good enough. Do you agree with the naysayers? Or do you think that Lewis Hamilton will shut them up by season's end? Share your thoughts in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.